Pamela, welcome to Galileo University. We're happy to have you here. Pamela Fox from Khan Academy. I'm former Coursera engineer. I'm also former Googler.
Yeah, Googler.
Yeah, okay. So welcome, and we're happy to have you here. Can you tell us what do you think about this MOOC movement and what's going on higher education and engineering education and lifelong learning education? What are your impressions, your experiences by being one time in Coursera and doing, let's say, MOOCs, more traditional academic MOOCs, and now you're in Khan? What are your impressions or comments?
Yeah, so generally we're seeing just a lot of new forms of online education. So MOOC is this one form where you have this massively online course that you all take together. But there's been this just big renaissance in online learning, right? So it's not just MOOCs, because a lot of things I do is also teaching programming. And there are now just thousands of ways to learn programming online, and there's so many different forms of it. And it's really cool because you see that there's things like programming that you could learn entirely online, and there are people that have taught themselves entirely online, and they're now full-on, programmers, web developers, the same as people who went to college, right?
Right.
So we're seeing now that college isn't necessary, right? Or at least the form of it, the way we know it. So we start to question everything. And the weird thing is for me is I loved school. I loved school, I loved high school, I loved college, I loved it all. But there's a lot of people that didn't love it, and a lot of people that didn't have the opportunity to do it.
Right.
So it's nice that there's all these new alternative forms of learning that are popping up. So MOOCs in particular are very interesting because you have thousands of students in a class instead of 30 students. So this is interesting both for the teachers, because the teachers, the professors, they're really interested in MOOCs because they have the chance to see how their content works on thousands of students. And they get the data back from that, and they can see exactly which lecture was boring. They can see exactly what they didn't teach correctly because everybody failed it on the quiz. And if you have 900 out of 1,000 students failing on a particular question, there's something wrong with your teaching, right? So for professors, it's this opportunity to be able to actually see at scale how their content does, and to use this analytics to improve their teaching.
Right.
It's an opportunity to teach more people than they could ever teach before. And it's an opportunity to not have to keep repeating yourself year after year. So the Coursera founders, they just got bored of giving the same lectures every year, right? And they're like, why are we doing this, right? We don't want to be giving the same lectures over and over. We would rather spend time on interesting things like the projects and discussions, right? So that's why they did it.
You have been experimenting all this, you are working on the edge of these new educational movements, changes, trends. How do you envision or how do you see the future of education, for instance, in 20 years from now? Any ideas?
The ultimate idea is that in the future, every child will be able to have this book or this app or whatever it is that figures out where they currently are, and then figures out where they need to go next, and then perfectly tailors the content for them so that they can go from here to here at the right pace, and they can monitor the fact that they're getting better and better. So that's kind of the hope, is that in the future, you have people that can just they can learn exactly at their own pace, but still get to that end goal, and they can learn also in their own way, right? There might be some forms of learning that actually work better for some people than other people, right? So ideally, you should be able to have all those forms of learning available to you.
The other day you gave a great talk about good practices about doing software development. Now that in the Galileo University we have a school of computer science, as the experience has come to you and the experience that you have accumulated through the years, what are the best suggestions, the best tips that you can give to our students?
So I think that the best thing that you could probably do is to really try to work with other people. Because when you get out into the real world, what I found out is that you have to work with other people. And at least for me, that was difficult at first, right? Because, you know, in high school, you would do group projects, but it wasn't really a group project. It was somebody on the team did everything, right? And that's not the way it works in the real world, because there's no way that one person could write all of Google, right? There's just no way. Like, we've now gotten to the point where the projects are so big that it's not possible. You have to learn how to give a little bit of the project to other people to do as well. Otherwise, you'll never achieve what you want to do. There's a good quote that I like, which is about this, which is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together, right? So yeah, you can work really quickly by yourself, but if you really want to create something great that's going to last a long time, you have to work with other people.
Right.
So yeah, so do group projects as much as you can, whether that's in classes or if it's on the side or at hackathons or, you know, whatever it is, right? Just try and learn how to work with other people to create great things together.
Can you tell us something about what's going on? What's next? At least in your curricula, or maybe as a CAN in general.
Right.
We would like to have something new to tell our audience.
I see. Well, I'm not actually sure how many people in Guatemala know about Khan Academy. But so if you don't, so Khan Academy is it's focused on education for like kids, teens in mathematics and sciences, and we also have programming, and that's the part that I work on. So I come up with the videos and the coding challenges, and put them together in the syllabus, which is the order that I think that is the best way to learn programming in. And it's in this really cool environment where you can make drawings and animations. So for the programming curriculum, one of the big things we want to do next is add projects. And the projects would be more something freeform where it says, okay, now you're going to make a rock, paper, scissors game, right? And it should have this and this and this, but you can be creative and maybe you could add Blizzard and Spock in there as well. So you make your project, you write all this code, and then you want to see if it's good. So you can share it with the rest of the community, and you can see do people vote it up. But we also want to have a peer review stage, right? Because peer review, code review, that's an important part of engineering, right? And so we want to introduce people to this early. Well, so Khan is generally moving to more of a mission format. So what you do is you log into Khan and you have a particular mission. So right now you have this mathematics mission, but we want to be able to customize the missions more. Like let's say I really want to learn probability statistics. I'm going to tell Khan that's my goal. I want to learn prob and stats. And then every time you go to Khan Academy, it's just going to immediately pop up, what is the next thing you need to learn? So we're moving generally to this mission-based thing.
Have you already started on that?
Yeah, there's already the math mission. So now we're adding more customized missions and the ability for a coach. So on Khan Academy, students can have coaches. So, you could coach me or I could coach you, and a coach can make recommendations. So the coach can say, I want my student to do this prob and stats mission. And then the coach can watch how they do, right? Or the student can decide. So we're doing much more around these missions, and it kind of just is a more exciting way of learning what it is you need to learn.
Okay, well, thank you very much for being here at the FIT at Galileo 2013. And we hope to have you back here in the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.